Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund are around 11 million apart in their valuation for Jadon Sancho. We are confident of completing a deal for Sancho. Fabrizio Romano recently said that Manchester United have reached an agreement with Jadon Sancho's camp. The personal terms with Jadon Sancho have been agreed and a contract until 2026 worth £350,000 a week has been agreed. And the agent fees have been agreed. All we need to do now is come to an agreement on a fee. Our opening offer of £67 million was rejected for Jadon Sancho. Borussia Dortmund are demanding around 78 million plus add-ons. Borussia Dortmund have set a transfer deadline for Jadon Sancho. They've said he will remain at Borussia Dortmund if Man United have not reached Borussia Dortmund's valuation by the end of July. Jadon Sancho has a gentleman's agreement with Borussia Dortmund to join Manchester United in this summer transfer window. Sancho said the other week that he wants his future resolved before the start of the Euros. There's always been something in Jadon Sancho to Manchester United because it has been stemming from reliable journalists. Fabrizio Romano's spoken a hell of a lot about the Sancho saga, so too has Christian Falk from Build. But it has been a long-running transfer saga because we've been in for Jadon Sancho for like the last 2 years or so. We was extremely close to getting Sancho last summer, because the personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, and the contracts had been agreed. The reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's 108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. So Dortmund have lowered their asking price from last summer. Dortmund set a deadline last year. They said we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Dortmund paid just £7 million for him from Man City back in 2017. So they're going to make a huge profit on the player. Sancho's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023 and he's endured 4 years at Borussia Dortmund. The reasons he'll be a good signing for Manchester United is because he'll assure us goals. He's very good at creating chances. He will exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's predominantly a right winner, and Man United need a right winner. He's still young. He's got a lot of development in him, and he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. They do touch base with each other a lot. If we don't sign Sancho in this summer transfer window, I reckon we'll never sign him. But it says if we don't sign Jadon Sancho, we're looking at making a move for Kingsley Coman from Bayern Munich. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Harry Kane. Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham. Was it last month? Harry Kane put a transfer request in. It's going to take an offer of around 150 million to convince Tottenham to offload him. Last month it said that Man United, Chelsea and Man City all made contact with his representatives. Kane did say, didn't he, that he wants to win team trophies. Because Tottenham have not won a trophy now for like 13 years. Have they? Now, it said last month that Man United were prepared to double Harry Kane's wages to around £400,000 a week, and it said we would pay an 18 million signing on fee to compensate any loss of his earnings on his Tottenham contract. That was actually stemming from Ian McGarry on the Transfer Window podcast, and it also said that we're prepared to offer £200 million for Kane plus the captaincy. Last month, Daniel Levy, who's the Tottenham chairman, he was furious with Harry Kane for going public with his desire to leave because Kane had an interview with Gary Neville regarding his future. Obviously, Daniel Levy doesn't want Tottenham to sell Harry Kane because he is aware of how much of an imperative player he is. And Daniel Levy actually slapped a £200 million asking price on Kane. Not so long ago, there was rumours of Pochettino going back to Tottenham. Harry Kane has been at Tottenham for 17 years, so he's been a long-serving player. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's got a contract with Tottenham until 2024. Because back in 2018, he signed a 6-year deal. He's on around £200,000 a week at Tottenham. Kane came up Tottenham's academy. He won the Golden Boot last season, did Harry Kane. I think he's now won it 3 times in total. He's had a few loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. But Manchester United do need a striker. Solskjaer insists that Man United are in the summer transfer market for a striker. But we have done business with Tottenham before. We got Michael Carrick off them a lot of years ago. And we also got Dimitar Berbatov off them a long time ago now. Tottenham are going to have to find a good adequate replacement for Harry Kane because they're going to really, really struggle without him. You know, they've been struggling as it is with Kane. Manchester United are linked with Kieran Trippier from Atletico Madrid. Now, Football Insider said Man United had an opening offer of £10 million rejected by Atletico Madrid for Kieran Trippier. Atletico Madrid have named their price for Trippier. Atletico Madrid will only sell Kieran Trippier if his £35 million release clause is met. Kieran Trippier told his England teammates that he wants to make a move to Man United this summer. The Athletic said not so long ago that we begun negotiations with Atletico Madrid for Kieran Trippier. The player has been house hunting, so that's fuelled speculation. Solskjaer did say he was unhappy with Wan-Bissaka's attacking output, and this is probably the main reason why we're in for Kieran Trippier. We probably do need someone to come in to provide competition for Wan-Bissaka. We was in for Kieran Trippier in the January transfer window, but we culled our interest. Because Kieran Trippier got banned by FIFA for 8 weeks for breaching betting rules. Trippier's current contract expires next year and Atletico Madrid paid £20 million for him from Tottenham. He's highly experienced, he's 30 years of age, He won the La Liga with Atletico Madrid last season. Give you a bit more news on Rafael Varane from Real Madrid. He's still refusing a contract at Real Madrid. Romano said that not so long ago. Man United recently tabled a contract offer for Varane. It's €12 million a year, which equates to just over 10 million in pounds sterling. Real Madrid cannot meet Rafael Varane's demands. Mundo Deportivo said yesterday that Real Madrid have lowered their asking price for Rafael Varane. They want around £43 million, which is a bargain. Before, Real Madrid were demanding £60 million, and towards the end of last season, they rejected a £40 million bid. Not so long ago, Rafael Varane spoke out on his future. He said it's unlikely his future will be resolved for the summer's European Championships. And Man United have held talks with Varane's representatives. But Romano did mention towards the end of last season that Varane was the main name on our list, and we was waiting to see what happened with his situation at Real Madrid. He wants to come to the Premier League. We went in for Varane 10 years ago under Ferguson, didn't get him. And Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move for him back in 2018. The reasons Varane would be a good signing for Man United is because Varane and Harry Maguire would complement each other very well in our back line. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced. He would definitely exceed expectations in the Premier League, and he's got a good pedigree as a player. Varane has won 18 major honours at Real Madrid. So they're the reasons, and Varane's been a long-serving player at Madrid. He's been with them 10 years or so now. But I can assure he's leaving. Man United still want a centre-half despite Eric Bailly signing a new contract towards the end of last season. The summer transfer window is open, as you all know. It officially opened on the 9th of June. I'm expecting Manchester United to be very active in this transfer window. I'm also expecting other teams around us to be active in this summer transfer window. It's very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players he wants to recommend in. Solskjaer is aware of how big this transfer window is for himself and Manchester United in general. This summer transfer window is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. The other week, Solskjaer was given a £150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. And our board are backing Ole with a new 3-year contract and summer signings despite the Europa League final loss. I think it's a mistake giving Solskjaer this new 3-year contract, and I think quite a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. He won't see out this new 3-year contract. And Solskjaer still got under a year left on the current 3-year contract he signed when he got the job permanently back in March 2019. So what we should do is really wait until he sees out his current contract, then analyse how things have gone, and then decide or not whether to give him this new 3-year contract. But Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves now in this summer transfer window. Reflecting on what the board said just before the window opened. Plus we've got John Murtaugh, he's our director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've also got Matt Judge. And Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. We're going to focus on the outgoings in this summer transfer window as well as the incomings. I am expecting players to leave. I think we need to offload David De Gea. It'd be the right decision to offload De Gea because I reckon now De Gea has had his years at Manchester United. He's endured like 10 years at the club, so he has been a long servant. And De Gea is obviously now our second choice goalkeeper. The other week there was rumours about a David De Gea and Jan Oblak swap deal to solve our number one crisis. Now, De Gea has recently come out and said that he's convinced he'll stay at Manchester United and be Solskjaer's number one next season. De Gea has had around 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been at Man United, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But a few years ago was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club, and he's made over 500 appearances for Man United in all competitions. De Gea has like 2 years left on his current contract and he's on £375,000 a week. But last season, it said that De Gea made his transfer decision. It said he was preparing to leave Man United and Man United was set to pay off his huge contract. I reckon we demand around 50 million for De Gea, if we sell him in this summer transfer window. If De Gea stays for next season, then De Gea may be back as number one next season. But in my opinion, we need to keep Dean Henderson as number one. Phil Jones, we need to offload him because Phil Jones is inconsistent. He really, really is. And he doesn't get in our 11, and Phil Jones was out with injury for a while. Phil Jones has been a long servant at Man United. He's endured 10 years at the club. He's the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. We need to loan Brandon Williams out so he can gain more experience and he can get a lot more opportunities, because Brandon Williams seldom plays for Man United. He's our third choice left back. I think we also need to get rid of Diego Dalot permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. We need to get rid of Andres Pereira permanently. He's out on loan with Lazio at the moment. Lingard, we need to get rid of him permanently. Obviously want to get rid of Lingard permanently anyway. West Ham might end up getting Lingard on a permanent basis. We need to offload Nemanja Matic, because I've got my strong reservations about him. Matic has always been a slow player, and plus he's ageing up, and analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been inconsistent. And Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still gets his chances at Man United. We made a mistake giving Matic that new 3-year deal, was it before the start of last season? Matic has been at the club 4 years now. Got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Van der Beek, we need to offload him. He needs to go elsewhere to get obviously a lot more opportunities. He hasn't been given enough chances at Man United. Last season, I recall Donny van der Beek starting 4 Premier League games. Most of his appearances come from the bench. He said not so long ago, though, that Donny van der Beek was set for showdown talks with Solskjaer over his future. It said towards the end of last season that we will reject any offers for van der Beek. Reflecting on that, we are reluctant to let him go. Not so long ago, he was ruled out of the Euros through injury. We got Donny van der Beek in a deal worth 40 million from Ajax last year. And he's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. Juan Mata, we also need to offload him. Mike McGrath from the Telegraph said not so long ago that Man United were in talks with Juan Mata over an extension on his contract. Juan Mata's current contract expires at the end of this month. Juan Mata doesn't really get in our 11 now, and my element of concern about Mata, he's lost that yard of pace and he's ageing up. He's had a good career at Man United. Mata has been at the club for 7 years. He scored like 51 goals in 270 odd appearances in all competitions. Got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. The first part of last season, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. And Anthony Martial, I think we need to offload him. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Anthony Martial. He was out of form for the vast majority of last season, obviously before he got that knee injury. But the players we do sell in this summer transfer window will generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. There's a lot of players that will stay at Man United in this summer transfer window though. And I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Next season is massive for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I reckon next season Solskjaer has got to win a trophy at Manchester United if he is to remain Manchester United manager. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy since 2017, which is 4 years ago. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Next season will be Solskjaer's third full season because so far he's enjoyed 2 full seasons at Man United. He's been in charge of the club now for almost 30 months, which is over 2 years. So in total he's been in charge now for almost 3 years. There is some Man United fans that are obviously Ole out, reflecting on that loss to Villarreal in the Europa League final. Because Solskjaer made mistakes in that final, like I've been through with you before. You know, he made the wrong substitutions. He brought his substitutions on too late anyway. The first sub came on in the 100th minute of the game. He should have taken Marcus Rashford off because he sustained a knock, but he didn't take Rashford off. And he should have replaced De Gea with Dean Henderson for the penalties. So, there you go. I've pinpointed the mistakes he made. Some United fans reckon he got the lineup wrong. I didn't think he got the lineup wrong though. Harry Maguire was a big miss for that final. Not all of the blame stemmed from Ole, reflecting on that Europa League final loss. Obviously there were certain players as well that had to take responsibility, and in general the performance wasn't good enough. So there you go. The performance wasn't good enough. It's as simple as that. But I presume there is still some Man United fans that are Ole in and believe that he needs more time at the club. I think Ole deserves next season. If things start to go wrong next season, then I think there's a good chance he'll be under pressure and then he will end up being sacked. The question is, who are we going to recommend in to replace Solskjaer if he's eventually sacked? We need someone in with a proven pedigree and we need someone who's going to suit the strappings of the club. Man United can challenge for the title next season, providing that we recruit well in this summer transfer window. Reflecting now on Ole's been at the club, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learnt quite a bit on the job and he's tried a few different elements and stuff like that. But my 2 biggest concerns about Ole, like I've said to you before, he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager And his decision making concerns me because in a lot of his games at Man United, he's been tactically naive. The reason Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. That's what's basically saved him. Disregarding being a club legend, I can almost assure he wouldn't have been Manchester United manager now. But whatever happens regarding Solskjaer, we'll always adore him because at the end of the day, he's a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. There's also a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer, like I've gone through with you before. I didn't expect Solskjaer to do as well as he has done. You've got to say he's done a good job to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. And Solskjaer knew when he taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job, and he knew he had a lot to do. And to his credit, he has made some good signings so far. He's spent almost £300 million and he's brought around, 13, 14 players in. He's got rid of a good 14, 15 players as well. Some academy players have left. We recently released 8 players. 6 of them were academy players. We recently released Sergio Romero and we released Joel Pereira. Ole did well in a lot of aspects last season in his second full season. Got us to the Europa League final. No, he didn't win it, but you still got to give him credit for getting us to the final. It was his first major final as Man United manager last season. Finished second. Wasn't an achievement though. Last season went the entire season without losing away from home in the Premier League. Got us to the FA Cup quarters last season and the EFL Cup semi-final last season. Look, he did quite well in his first full season. He got us to 3 semi-finals and got us a 3rd place finish. So there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you for today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.